Good morning, all the wonderful, magnificent, and extraordinary people. Here we are. It has been an amazing journey, and we have been learning about our self-development concepts and also kind of realization concepts in a very depth manner. Most of our close members know that how it started everything, but still we say every day why we do this. Why we do this? We are here, Punjab people strongly believe that life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. Just by believing that or having that intention, is it enough to have life of ease, joy, and glory? Certainly not. We need to do our own actions towards it. So, how to do that? EMC is helping you to do with certain tools. In fact, so many tools, all successful and well-tested tools we are sharing with everyone. And also we are following it very judiciously. One among is, we help you to move from default mode to create mode, because all life happens when you are in the creative mode. And also, it is so coincidence that we started this during this COVID period. That time, complete all around situation are negative environments where we need to dissipate all the negativity, and also we need to get into positive mode. So it is helping you to do that. And it makes all of us a possibility seeker, because the world is full of possibilities. To achieve that, to achieve whatever we desire, we need to become a possibility seeker. In fact, one step further, I can say we have to become a possibility creator. And that's what all the EMC members are doing. And how to do it? Just by increasing focus and energy. All these things we will be working on it every day. And it is all a great journey. And one visible example of the success of this EMC is all great people from different geographicals are joining, and not only joining, and they are just sticking to the family and understand the importance of it and taking it very seriously and spreading the word. And that is the great success of this program. And I'm so happy personally to be associated with all these great minds. It's kind of a pride and honor for me. And thank you very much, everyone. And before giving it to the session, and we have very amazing and in-depth session is awaiting for us. And before that, we, as a ritual, we do one exercise, that is generating the feeling what we want. So we are going to generate the feeling of happiness by laughing 100% without making a noise for a minute when I say 1, 2, 3. Can we do it? Yes? Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. %. I see very 20-30%. And small secret is, when you do this laughter exercise, so many benefits are there. One such benefits, your belly gets reduced. Isn't it amazing? Wonderful. Thank you very much. And I am handing over the session to our close friend Ramaji. Ramaji, over to you.
Thank you. Retreat, thank you everyone for coming on to the EMC today. So empowering morning conversation, every day we are looking at various aspects. So our mantra is the Access Consciousness mantra, which is all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. So everything we want to be ease and joy and glory, whatever comes to us in life. So this we have heard from Sukdeep sir always, our performance is equal to our potential minus the interferences. So potential, most of us have the great potential. So that has to be realized. That is one aspect. The other important aspect is the interferences. That is what is not allowing us to perform to the maximum potential what we have. So what are those interferences? It can be the circumstances, our own body, our own mind, and our own emotions. So today, let's look at what are the interferences of mind and how do they affect us? How do they show up? And how to address the interferences of mind. So that's what we can look at today. So I think most of us, we know that there are so many interferences of mind. So we can discuss, we can express, we can show our experience on what are those interferences and how do they affect or show up on us and how to address them. So that's the topic of today. So I would like to invite each one of you to really say what are the interferences of your mind. Yes, Rashmi ma'am.
Yeah. So there is a very interesting phenomena that I noticed not only in myself but in all conversations that I have. Say, for example, if you're sharing that you're having a nice cup of coffee in the morning, immediately my mind goes to not you, but to me. Oh, should I also be having coffee? Oh, did I have tea or coffee? Then I'll comment that, oh, I didn't get a chance to have a coffee. How lucky, you had coffee. So this is a very, very auto mode that the attention naturally goes to yourself when somebody is saying something. So I think that's a huge interferer of conversations and
Yeah,
communication.
yeah, absolutely. The attention always goes away from us, right? Away from whatever we want to focus on. So that's a big interference. So how does it show up? How is it affecting?
You are okay.
Sorry, I missed that, Rashmi.
Yeah, so my point is that when you are so focused only on yourself, right, and the other person is completely missing then in the conversation. So it's not a conversation. It's not a communication.
Okay.
It's a one-sided.
Okay, it's self-centered is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you. Yes, Reddy Garu, R.S. Reddy Garu.
Sir, my mind always tells me, don't go out of comfort zone.
Right. Yeah, so that's the interference of mind. So mind wants to be in the comfort zone. So what's the impact of that?
The impact is you will not do what you are supposed to do.
Yeah, and also you may miss the possibilities.
Yes,
you may
sir.
not, yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Reddy Garu. Yes, Guru Nandanji.
Yeah, so for me, the mind interference is always like first thing we do is we see things from our own perspective rather than the perspective of the person we are conversating with. Second is, we tend to be, when we see things from our own perspective, we tend to be form a perception or through our mind and be judgmental about the things or the results, or maybe we are preempting things. So they are, rather than in fact going through facts, when we are preempting things, where our mind is always into a prejudgmental mode without seeing the results, right? So that is
Right.
the biggest interferer, I think. And as we know, the human nature, negative thoughts and negative things they always come first to us. So normally these kind of mind interferers are not positive, they are hindrances.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the mind always judges, and it attracts towards the negativity than positivity more often. Right. So those are all the interferences. So what is the problem? It really puts us into very limited negative stuff and not allowing us to explore the bigger opportunities, and not allowing us to be more comfortable. Right. Yeah. So yes, Abhinav.
Yeah, so good morning once again. I think one of the interference is that we are not clear about what we want. I'm not clear about what I want. There are times when I'm clear about what I want, but then most of the time I forget what I want and I end up trying to just make it, trying to please others, trying to dominate others, trying to be better than others. And others is people around you, not better than Albert Einstein, just people around you. So I'm not clear about, and that is what I see in others also. If there is not clarity, like in my office, there is just 10 people. It's a branch office of a of a company in Bombay. So there's so even it's very difficult to even create a oneness about, okay, forget about the purpose of life. What is the purpose of the company? Even with so very difficult to create oneness in that area also. And I will just give you give one small example. A few days back, just 4 or 5 days back, I had a meeting with a company, which is an Israeli company. Okay. Now I met their manager who was an Indian, not the Israeli. And that manager, and that company is into defense production. So obviously they are going to import and export from Israel. So that is what the purpose of meeting. So he told me that their managing director was a F-16 fighter pilot, and every month, though he's the MD of the company, and like he has a worldwide operation, but every year he has to go for a 1 month training, kind of, so that he's always ready to fly a F-16. He was saying he was so committed that for 1 month, before that 1 month, he starts training, because when you're a fighter pilot, then you have to be that kind of a reaction, that kind of a response, and then this is such a complicated plane to fly. So he actually 1 month even before his training starts, it's not that he will just land up at the military unit one morning with his tummy out and whatever. So even so, I'm not saying purpose of life, his, at least in that area, his purpose is very clear, defense of his country. So there is no purpose of life. There is very less oneness, very less. So that is a huge interference. So ultimately, what ends up you see is that trying to dominate others, trying to be better than others, trying to avoid domination, trying to just make it, or watch, all these things are called survival. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reactive approach. The mind does the
Yeah.
trick
Yes.
of
Yes. Yes.
not focusing and finalizing on what is there
Yeah.
around. So what is the
Yeah.
purpose that we can always find based on whatever we are surrounded with, what situation we are in. But our mind is so tricky, it doesn't want to
Yeah.
fix on anything. See, for
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
example, let's say I want to really help people. So there are so many people, beggars on the traffic jam, and on the signal, and there are so many people around, but the mind will say, oh no, this person is not really begging. I don't know, I want to find really the deservable person, right? So like that, it will keep on going. You are on mute, Binaji.
I think this happens to me all the times. If there are people I want to help, but I don't want to be made a fool of also.
Exactly. So that's what the mind trick is. But the real thing is, whatever is there, whichever the situation we are there, in that we can find what is our purpose. In that we can find what we can help others. So that is that clarity, that fixing of mind and attention is important. But our mind is so cunning. It will keep always saying, no, 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 this is not the right thing. You have to find something else better. So that's how it keeps going on. So, yeah, thanks, Abhinavji. So Carlos, Daniel, Sabina Carlos Daniel has written quite a few things in the message. Let me read that. Laziness, loving relationships was my biggest stumbling block. Social ideals. So basically, laziness is definitely a problem of mind. Loving relationships need not be a stumbling block, but there are challenges. So one has to have that kind of what to say, capability to handle the relationship. Social ideals, the lack of commitment in the things that I want or need. Yeah, that's the point of what is our purpose, what is that focus. The almost constant fear to undertake economic projects. Yeah, that is another thing. Constant fear. In fact, sometimes people have, I also had at some point in time, constant fear on why you are fear, no, why that fear itself is not known, just fear. So that is another big interference of mind. And he's saying specifically on economic projects, stay in a place that I do not want to be, like not fishing or fixing my house. So basically not taking care of our day-to-day maintenance or the surroundings. So these are all the blockages of mind or the interferences of mind. And by not having economic projects, my savings are spent. So these are all the interferences, what Carlos is saying. Yeah, very, very valid, very much is there. So the impact is that it puts us into very limited environment, very limited growth, very limited focus. But if we can overcome that and focus on, we can really achieve a lot more, because each one of us are capable of doing a lot more, right? So how else the mind, what are the other interferences of mind? And what is the impact and how can we handle it? So let me show you some of them. So these are all some of the interferences of major interferences of mind. Disease. So this is, the mind is not in ease. Okay, starting from the mind is not being ease to the psychological diseases, right? Mind can get into that. So there are psychological diseases for many people, right? So depression or bipolar or whatever the disease. So the disease can really interfere with your mind, and it doesn't allow you to live a peaceful and joyful and a glorious life. Dullness, idealness or dullness, doubts, always there is no clarity, there is always doubt on whatever you do, and carelessness. So something requires that kind of care and that kind of focus. But if you don't have it, there are challenges. Laziness, sensuality, inability to turn away from the obstacles, lack of detachment. So the mind always goes into the obstacles, goes into the problems. False perception, right? So there is something is there, but we perceive it wrongly. Failure to reach a firm ground. So this is very, very important. It is always shaky. The mind is always shaky. Inability to find a firm ground. Slipping from ground gained. Even though you gain certain firmness of ground, again you slip from that. So that unsteadiness or instability. So these are all some of the distractions or interferers of mind. So are you able to relate to these interferers? Yes, Guru Nandanji.
Yeah, definitely these are very important physical interferers and mental interferers are there in this. I relate to another one, that is the mind constantly keep comparing things, right?
Yes.
So we
Yes.
keep comparing what is with me, what is with my best friend, how can I, that kind of thought process is also interfere, rather than not being in a gratitude mode, rather being in a more greedy mode rather than a gratitude mode.
Absolutely. Comparison is a killer.
Correct.
So comparison always generates the negative feelings of either envy
Yes.
or jealousy, or
Yes,
resentment, right?
yeah.
Those are all the
I
challenges.
think that can be added to the list as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, comparison generates those kind of. Actually, it can generate the other positive feelings like gratitude or no appreciation, but mind always goes into the negative side of jealousy, envy, and no resentment. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, sure. Yeah. So, but the impact is that it doesn't allow you to be peaceful. It doesn't allow you to do what you want to do, what you can do. Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Can
Thank you.
I add something to this?
Yes, Hiral. Yeah.
So, even you can, am I audible? Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So I feel even the past memories and, past events which you have in your mind already,
Yes.
it can also affect so much, like, I'm not able to express it properly, but yeah, this is one point as well, the judgments of others and yourself.
Yeah. So no, clearly the past memory, particularly the
Yeah, yeah.
memory of negative
Yes,
things, no, the uh, memory of traumas, memory of
yes,
various
yes.
issues in the past. So that keeps triggering every time, and that really takes you away from your focus, your attention, your objective. Yes, that is another interference of mind. Always recollecting the past, particularly the negative things.
Yeah, it keep on looping in back, sometimes at particular events, it will just come and trigger you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
In general, I'm talking, this happens with everybody.
True. True. Yeah. Right. So we are well aware of all these interferences and its impact. Right. What is the impact? There are so many impacts. Okay, so any other interferences, what we can think of beyond this? So Guru
Yeah.
Nandan said
Yeah.
comparison, and Hiral said
Yeah,
memory.
Ramaji.
Yes,
Ramaji.
Guru Nandan.
Dr.
Yes,
Hiral reminds me of this very interesting and very important interference.
yeah,
And normally, when I do counseling, so it's very important. The impact is very huge of this interference because we live in our past and our past doesn't leave us. And especially the failures of the past or not good things, good emotions of the past. So I generally say that, have you ever clicked pictures? Have you ever used camera? So everybody says yes. So I always say, do you click pictures of happy moments, celebrating moments, or you click pictures of sad and bad moments? So obviously, we always click pictures of celebrating moments, happy moments, good emotions, happy emotions. So we have to have similar kind of pictures saved, not in our album, but in our brain, right? But in our mind. So that will really help. So you said, what is the interference, what is the impact, and how to handle them? So to handle them, one of the solution is this one.
yeah. So yeah, learn from the camera. So our mind
Correct.
seems to be working exactly opposite of camera. So camera captures the beautiful, happy moments, whereas the mind keeps the negative and bad things. That's really unfortunate. But definitely we can change it. We can learn from this and change it. Yeah, thank you, Guru Nandan. Yes, Sagar.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So for me, I think it's a comfort zone, sir. Uh,
Yes,
like our body also crave comfort, and our mind also crave comfort, and so and we want relaxation and comfort give you some kind of, I think, false relaxation, and we became addicted to the false relaxation to our comfort zone. So we don't want to move out from our comfort zone to anything that is better for our health, mind. So I think one of the interference for most of us is our comfort zone, sir.
yeah. Being comfortable is good, but the comfort zone, what happens is it drives you to dullness and laziness. So that becomes a big issue. So so-called comfort zone, what we are talking about is more about laziness and dullness. but one has to be comfortable in anything, whatever one does. So that distinction we have to make. So what we are talking about comfort zone is basically dragging to the laziness and dullness. That's the issue. So we need to come out of it. That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. So what is the typical impact of all these interferers? The other one is, of course, fear, right? Fear of, there's so much uncertainty, fear of what will happen in the future, right? Fear of unknown, all those things are there. Now, because of all these interferers we have been talking about, we have been experiencing, right? One minute. So what are the typical impacts of these interferences of mind? Let me show you some. I'm sure you will have a lot more. So one is suffering, distress or suffering. Because of all these interferences in mind, there is a suffering or distress, and there is a despair or dejection. And in the extreme interferers and the emotions, trembling of the body, right? This you can really experience. And disturbed breathing, right? These are all the typical accompaniments to mental distractions or mental interferers. So what happens when you have this distress, despair, trembling of body and disturbed breathing? Your body and mind really get into trouble. And that is how the disease get formed. So whatever the thoughts, whatever the interferers come in your mind, really shakes up your body and mind. And it creates more and more problem for you, making you more unsteady, making you in disease, and disease gets developed. So these are all the impact of the interferers of mind. So what are the other impacts beyond this? What you have experienced or what you have observed or thought about? Right. For example, it doesn't allow you to focus. Yeah. Yes, Bruno.
So lack of confidence, lack of courage,
yes,
lack of courage, lack of confidence, lack of, in fact, ability to think or ability to think or ability to even learn and ability to be more creative. All these things, the blockages come in the mind. And
exactly.
these interferences basically, block you from all learning ability, thinking ability, and creativity also.
Right.
And definitely,
so each one of us has so much capability and ability, but because of the interference which creates this kind of impact, it doesn't allow you to use the ability you already have. You don't need to develop anything new. Whatever the ability you already have, whatever the capability you already have, even that you cannot use it. Right. So that's really the worst scenario. It happens repeatedly. So we can see the impact of the interference on the mind, how devastating, how harmful, how difficult it is, and how it impacts our life. So if that is the case, how do we handle this? When the interferers come in, how do we handle? How do we make sure that the interferers do not impact us? What is that we can do? Because we already have so many capabilities, but because of these interferers, even whatever we have, we are not able to use it. That's really, very sad and a pathetic scenario. So what can we do to stop the interferers, or when the interferers come, how to avoid them and move forward in our focus, our objective? Yes, Guru Nandan.
I'm so sorry. After 4 days of deep listening session, I'm still keep talking. It's looking so awkward to me. But this subject is something which I have a passion for this, and I love this subject. I'm sorry of being so much talking about it. I'm so sorry. After 4 days of listening, deep listening session, I should have not been so vocal. But just to share thoughts, I think counseling is one thing to handle such kind of mind, interferences. Uh, Definitely, counseling can help. One. Second is to uh, to today in today's scenario, we have a lot of inspirational and positive audio-visual aids available to go through those aids and keep ourselves into zone of people with positive mindset, and definitely have a mentor or coach who can constantly help and guide us to overcome our mind interference, right? And I'll try not to be a good listener from this moment. Thank you, Ramaji, but it is fantastic session by you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, as you rightly said, we should have some mentor where you can go and consult. We should go for counseling because there are so many things like here all said, past memories, past traumas, past negativities, as well as the fear about unknown and uncertain future and current set of mind issues that can be addressed to a certain extent through the counseling, right? So those are all very, very important aspects. Thanks. There is one more thing you said. One is mentor, another is counseling, and there is one more third you said. I missed it.
I said coach who constantly
Coaching,
helps
yeah,
you.
coaching, yeah, mentor and coach, right? So this is very important nowadays. See, in the past, we had different kind of living environment, right? So not too much of information overload, not too much of worries, not so much of news about negativity, this, that, and all. And it was the joint family where different levels of maturity and different level of people were there together to teach us. Now with the kind of nuclear family and the singles, it's very difficult for us to really get that kind of support. So in the modern environment, these are all the supports we need to take. The other one is satsang. Basically, Guru Nandanji, what you said is associate with the positive people. I think that's very important. So mentor, coach, associating with the positive people like EMC and counseling. So those are all some of the really good things to do for us to keep our mind not get impacted by the interferers. The interferers itself, you can't do much. That will keep coming, but you can stop them coming by all these things. Yes, thank you, Guru Nandanji. Yes, Sagar, go ahead.
So for me also like not counseling though, like like if there are people who are open-minded and you can talk, we can like now we can talk here like about so many things though it is online. So I prefer physically, and we have presence of other people and we can have some kind of open dialogue. Sometimes open dialogue it helps a lot, sir. I think I recommend everybody to conduct a dialogue, and it helps a lot, sir.
Yes. So instead of if you let the mind keep on bothered about this interferers, it will keep going into the negative loop always. So when you start talking to other people, those loops can be stopped and the negativity can be removed. Yes, that's right. So talk to the people, associate yourself with positive people. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And that's exactly we are doing here in EMC every day, right? So we are in the right place. Hiral, you are saying the three gunas balancing.
Yeah,
the three
so
gunas.
I was talking about the Ayurvedic aspect of this point. So we have trigunas in our body, like in the form of, it's not a physical thing, but sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic trigunas we have. It's the quality of mind and what we have sensory organs. It combines and make this triguna balance or imbalance. And there are certain things like even your if you see allopathy side, I mean modern science, then you can compare that with the endocrine system. So if this is not balanced, if there is an imbalance in your hormonal thing, or it will lead to imbalance in three gunas basically. Either it will increase any of the one guna like Rajasic or Tamasic, or even Sattvic, like, any guna not in a proportion, accurate proportion, it will lead to this kind of things, like, if you are having more of Sattvic guna, if more of Rajasic guna or more of Tamasic guna, it will lead any of the conditions. Either you will get some mental illness, or it will create whatever you have discussed so far, all the points. Any of this can happen because of this reason. So yeah, in Ayurveda it is said if you balance your gunas, three gunas, balance is more important for healthy life.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for
Yeah.
example, when you are lazy or dull, that's the tamasic guna which
Yes,
is
so
dominating.
whatever you do, like suppose as some people have told about the point about counseling and things, but if your gunas are not in balance, if somebody will tell you how much, you will not be able to perceive that, you will not be able to understand how much somebody is willing to give you. You are not in a receiving state because your gunas are not ready to, not allowing you to take it. So this is the point which I believe it is most important, to balance your gunas. And like yoga and meditation and this kind of activities can help. But again, as you said, yeah, you require a person who can guide you for that.
Exactly. The mentor
Yes.
is required. Yeah.
Yes, that is required.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. So anyone else? Okay. So these are all some of the things we could handle the interferences in addition to whatever we are talking about. So practice of concentration on a single object, a single purpose, a single focus, or use of any one technique on a continued basis for a long time, so that you get develop that concentration, right? The other one is very important: friendliness towards those who are happy, right? We said comparison. Guru Nandanji talked about comparison. When you compare with others, we invariably get into negative emotions, but instead develop friendliness towards the people who are happy. So that really makes your mind much more effective, much more happy, and it stops the interferers to come in. Compassion for the unhappy. So people who are suffering, who are in distress or trouble, have compassion for them. Whereas either we completely avoid them, or we will justify saying that, yeah, that person deserves that kind of punishment, that kind of unhappiness. Do not get into that. Have compassion for the people who suffer. Delight in virtuous. If there are some people who are virtuous, right, the character is good. So have delight in them. But instead we start judging. Oh, this person is like this person is like that. So instead of judging, take delight in the people with good character or virtuous. Disregard toward the wicked. So if there are some people who are really deliberately creating problem, so don't focus too much on them. Otherwise, your mind will keep getting bothered. Oh, where is the justice in the world? Why these people are like this? So it will keep on going. So disregard. So don't bother about them. Just ignore and move on with your life. Controlled exhaling and retaining the breath. So basically the pranayama or breathing, right? So this will also help you to calm your mind, make the mind not disturbed. Concentration on subtle sense perceptions. So basically, focus on your sense perceptions. What happens in the body? Which part of the body is getting disturbed? Where there are sensations? Focus on that. Concentration on the supreme, ever blissful light within. So within each one of us, there is the power, right? So focus on that power. Concentration on a great soul's mind, which is totally free from attachment to sense objects. So this is something like, it can be your God, if you believe in that. It can be a great saint or sage or prophet, okay, who are really the great souls or great people. They don't have the attachment towards many objects. So you can concentrate on them. Concentrating on an experience had during dream or sleep, deep sleep. So if you had some powerful and good positive experience during your sleep or deep the dream, you can concentrate on that as well. Meditating on anything one chooses that is elevating. So whichever you feel is really higher ideal, something great, you can meditate on that, focus on that. So these are all some of the practices, some of the ways we can train our mind so that it becomes powerful and it doesn't get distracted by the interferers of mind. Right? So is it difficult to do any of this? Not at all. It is only that you have to choose, you have to focus to do it, right? Instead of suffering with all these distractions, it is definitely worthwhile to do these things and make your mind calm and happy and peaceful. So, and of course, we have been doing some of them here in EMC, but we can really do this much more. Right. So anything else to add to this, or any questions on what is this, how to do all these things? Yes, sir.
So like that these are things that we have to do. These are things we have to follow, and uh, and sometimes I find like doing by myself is so difficult. So I have to depend on other people. Is it sir good to depend on like some organization, some spiritual organization or something uh, outside of you, not like it's very difficult, sir. Like if you go on improving or yourself day by day, you can achieve something good for yourself. Though sir, it will be not so easy for long run. So is it good to depend on some spiritual organization and some social platform, club, all these things?
See, as a starting point, yes. As a starting point, you need some external assistance. But then you should not get stuck to that. Once you develop the capabilities to do these things on your own, then you have to be independent enough. You can associate with any group or any organization, but you should not get stuck with that. As a starting point, yes, you should definitely take external help. The external help could be the groups like this, EMC. You can have your own mentors and coaches. You can also associate with some organization which provides this kind of help. That is a starting point, but you should not get stuck with that.
Amaji, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Great. I would like to share 2 points which comes into my mind,
Yes,
which is my personal experience also to handle the interference of mind. One is physical activities, physical activity, physical exercise. And my understanding from our great studies is all this in spiritual perspective, you call vasanas. In psychological perspective, you call subconscious imprints. Everything stays with the body one. That is what my realization when I went to Vipassana. So to get rid of that, you have to do physical activity. To go for walking, swimming, running. Initially, it may get disturbed. Like it may hard to link this. Mind is different, body is different. Why you go through body, but all practices Even Adhisthana, they say in Vipassana, you should not move not even a single movements from your body for 1 hour. That time you will know what is the connection between mind and body. It is only body only we cannot say. So physical activity vigorously doing is the way to reach mind and taking it to the full this thing. Second thing is what kind of books you read. Meaning you are putting thoughts into the mind. It will change its own. Like some in village they put some seed into the water. The water gets purified. Then they drink the water like that. What kind of information books you put it into your mind is going to help you. So this is my two personal realization I would like to share with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vetri. Yeah, obviously there is the mind and body are linked very much. The mind is within the body and outside also, right? So obviously it gets impacted. So you can influence each other. By mind you can influence the body, and by body you can influence the mind. So that is obvious, and that is something we should definitely do. And the second thing, what you said, reading books is the food for mind, right? The body we need to take care by what we are eating and also exercise. So similarly, the mind, what we put inside matters. And then the exercise to mind as well as body. Yeah, that's a practical and your own experience you are sharing. Thank you, Vetri. Yeah. Hiral, you are saying there is one more thing. What is that? You sent some Sanskrit.
Yeah, that is Sadvrutta actually, and that is all like, what points you have elaborated already. It comes under that only. Sadvrutta is like, good conduct.
Okay.
Whatever is good for your body and mind, if you
Right.
follow those things, if you are
Right.
well aware of your activities and routine of your life, and you are well aware of everything, so this, it will help you to balance these gunas. And again, Sadvrutta is good conduct. I can take one presentation on that. We have like, good references in Ayurveda, and sometimes I can explain that in details. Yeah,
Yeah, one of the
it
days.
is a good point. Yeah, which can help, balancing this issues, whatever is there.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. So anybody else like Vetri is practicing physical exercise and reading good books, which helps the mind not to get disturbed and not the interferences not affecting. So what are your experiences you can share? Any such experiences? Kunanji? Yes, Sagar. So Kunanji may share your thoughts after Sagar. Yes, Sagar.
Sir, like I am doing whenever I am active, whenever I feel good, and even I don't feel good, I go for I go to Pashupatinath from here, from my place, and it's very spiritual place, and get many insight after going Pashupatinath. And also I go for dynamic meditation. Also dynamic meditation, it helps me to release all the emotions, all this uh, inner baggage inside me, and it helps me somehow it helps me. Those it's though my mind and my mind doesn't want to go there, I push myself to go there and do.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So going into some energetic places like the spiritual places or the natural places like mountains, forest, beach. So those things also definitely help the mind to be more calm, more effective. That's right. And the dynamic meditation really, it shakes you up both the mind and body. So that's the great thing to do, Sagar. It's a very, very good experience. Thank you. Yes, Konanji, you want to say something about what's going on?
Thank you, Ramaji, and very good morning to you and all. Well, what's coming to me right now is, which I believe is the approach of minimalism or minimalistic lifestyle, because more things means more distraction. So somehow holistically, I need to be very focused. What exactly is the purpose of me being in this body in this time and space, and what is the minimal or minimalistic required things or the worldly affairs or things, so that mind doesn't go, or as Sukhdeepak sir always say that the energy connects. It should not go to the many places, because we have the limited energy and it gets distributed. So that way, I believe it would be helpful. And what I practice is the daily routine with the time boxed approach. So within 24 hours, if I have to do 10, 12, whatever things, that should be focused. So with that minimalistic approach, with the focused time boxed daily plan will help. It helps sometimes. So that's my
Yeah.
take on this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, minimalistic. Basically, in nature also, nature uses the optimal amount of things and energy, not too much, not too less. So that's true for us also, because if you have more than sufficient, then it will drag you down. If you don't have sufficient, then you cannot perform enough. So it has to be the optimal life, whether it is eating the food or reading or doing some work or thinking. So whatever we do, it has to be optimal enough, not too much, not too less. That's exactly the balanced middle path of Buddhism as well. Everything in measure, everything in balance. Thank you, Kunanji. When you are really following that, it's really great. And also, like you said, time boxed activities, so that your focus do not go away. What you want to achieve, you want to achieve that. Yeah, thank you, Kunanji. That's a practical help for all of us as well. Yes, Hiral?
Yeah, so I was searching one reference in the book about this Sadvrutta, and I would like to read something, just one para if we have time.
Okay, yeah, quickly
Yeah,
go
just
ahead.
2 minutes maybe I'll take.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is one very beautiful, it is not a shloka, but doha it is called as. So दहिने स्वर भोजन करे बाएं पावे नीर ऐसा समय संयम जप करे सुखी रहे शरीर बाएं स्वर भोजन करे दहिने पीवे नीर 10 दिन भूला यो करे पावे रोग शरीर. So इसका explanation, I'll just read the explanation about it. सात्विक भोजन पाने से और सादे वस्त्र धारण करने से बुद्धि शुद्ध होती है. सात्विक जीवन से शांति मिलती है, तामसिक जीवन से बेचैनी रहती है. This is just like शेरो शायरी जैसे करते हैं ना, वैसा that type of, it is not like so serious statement or something. सात्विक जीवन से शांति मिलती है, तामसिक जीवन से बेचैनी रहती है, उद्वेग रहता है तथा जलन और ईर्ष्या होती है. इसी कारण बीड़ी सिगरेट आदि मादक वस्तुओं का उपयोग नहीं करना चाहिए. इनसे वृत्तियां तामसिक होती है. इनसे सेवन से बुरी आदतें पड़ जाती है. तंबाकू खाने से पीने से तेज नष्ट हो जाता है. कहा गया है कि युद्ध में कामधेनु ने कान कटने से जहां रक्त गिरा वहीं तंबाकू उगा और पनपा. मतलब in the, this is about some past stories, they're elaborating this. अतः मादक द्रव्यों से सेवन से आरोग्यकामी मनुष्य को सदा बचना चाहिए. So this is about the सदाचार, they have explained in few points. स्वस्थ विचार स्वस्थ मन से उत्पन्न होता है. स्वस्थ मन स्वस्थ शरीर में रहता है और उसी का शरीर स्वस्थ रहता है जिसकी इंद्रियां उसमें उसके वश में है. मतलब whose sensory organs, like we have panchendriyas, right? If you are in control of this panchendriyas, you can control everything, like your physical body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, everything. It is about the balance they are talking here. Then स्वस्थ मन स्वस्थ शरीर में रहता है और उसका शरीर स्वस्थ रहता है जिसकी इंद्रियां अपने वश में है। इंद्रियों को वश में रखने के लिए प्रतिदिन ब्राह्मी मुहूर्त में जाकर परमात्मा का 1 घंटा नियम से ध्यान किया जाए तो कल्याण अवश्य होगा। आई मीन it's not about like doing the pujas or anything, but as you discussed, like spiritual practices comes under this point.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
this was just I just wanted to read. I was searching that reference in this book. Yeah, so I think it can help.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Now that you started kind of shairi, so let's get into shairi. So Kuldeep ji, would you like to say something and say some shairi?
A very insightful session, Ramaji.
Thank you.
So many things are clear. 4 lines, I would say. जो गुजर गया उसे भूल जा, जो गुजर गया उसे भूल जा, जो गुजर रहा उसे याद कर। तुझे कल का गम क्यों लग रहा, तुझे कल का गम क्यों लग रहा, ये है आज, आज की बात कर। Means whatever has happened, better to forget it. Whatever is happening, remember that. Why are you worrying for tomorrow? This is today. So talk of today. That is how
Yes.
it can be explained.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, Kunan ji, your shairi today.
Yes, sir. What's coming to me, Sukdeepak sir is Kuldeep sir, आपकी तवज्जो चाहूंगा कि
जी
इससे मिलता जुलता है कि सब कुछ मिल जाएगा,
जी
सब कुछ मिल जाएगा तो तमन्ना किसकी करोगे।
हाँ वाह।
सब कुछ मिल जाएगा तो तमन्ना किसकी करोगे, अधूरी ख्वाहिशें तो जीने का मजा देती हैं। अधूरी ख्वाहिशें तो जीने का मजा देती हैं।
Good.
Maybe Vetri can translate. Mr. Vetri.
Kurenji, my connection as well as Hindi seems to be very weak.
So if you will, can I do that?
Yeah, please, doctor.
So if you will get everything in your life, what else you will expect in your life? And can you repeat again last sentence?
What else will you aspire for?
What else you will aspire for? Yes, yes.
अधूरी
Thank you so much.
ख्वाहिशें,
It was nice.
अधूरी ख्वाहिशें तो जीने का मजा देती हैं।
Yeah, unfulfilled expectation. No.
Desires. Desires.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Sukdeep sir, over to you. Anything you want to say?
Nothing. Thank you very much. Very nice and engaging session. Thank you for the participation, everybody. It's nice when you participate in the conversation. And have a great day and look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. Wonderful.
Yes, thank you so much.
God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Great.